Initially, to learn four-ball juggling, I started out with a massed whole practice approach. In this video, we can see that my level of skill proficiency is very low. I am able to repeat the skill in succession. My throwing technique is inefficient, as we can see by the large amount of movement in my elbows. And my movements are also jerky, and the location of the ball in the air is controlling where I move to catch, rather than me controlling the positioning of the ball in the air from the throw. This would indicate that I am in a pre-control stage of skill proficiency. Also, the expression of concentration on my face suggests that I am in the cognitive stage of motor skill acquisition. Inconsistencies between my dominant right hand and my non-dominant left hand became significant when practicing the skill of single-hand juggling. My right dominant hand was far superior, and calculating my average score over 5 practices with the tennis ball, I came to 22. However, I only achieved an average score of 11 with my non-dominant hand. When analysing the performance, we see that my throwing consistency for height and distance was far worse on my left. This inability to toss the ball consistently was the focus of my first 3 learning activities. Activity 1 is just a single arm toss and catch. By reducing the skill down from a 4-ball to only 1, I am significantly reducing the level of organisation and the level of cognitive processing required, thus allowing me to solely improve the consistency of my throw. Activity 2 is a single arm ball toss and catch in each hand. This progression challenges the learner as the level of skill complexity is doubled, as now both arms are involved in the movement. In addition, the level of cognitive processing is increased, as now the movement is bilateral. Again, the purpose of this activity is to improve the consistency of the height and length of the throw. From activity 2, we now move to 2-ball juggling separately in each hand. As stated before, the disparity between my dominant and non-dominant hands were significant during this activity. As a result, I spent a ratio of 2:1 time practicing my non-dominant hand compared to my dominant for this activity. After 5 days of 10 minutes practice per day, I was able to increase my total average juggles over 5 attempts from 11 to 26. My percentage of juggles from my non-dominant to dominant hand also improved from 50% to 73%. As can be seen by the video, I have significantly improved the consistency of my throw. Stage activity 4 now adds a locomotor component of movement. This additional layer increases the level of cognitive processing required and the movement concept of spatial awareness via directional, as I would have to navigate my way around the apartment while single-hand juggling. This aligns with the later stage of Gentile's approach to motor skill development, as I would have to adjust my throw when walking and changing direction. My final activity required me to toss and catch a ball in my dominant hand while single-hand juggling in my non-dominant hand. A learner who had reached the proficiency level described by Graham would be able to complete this task, as the skill of one-hand juggling would be autonomous and require very little cognitive processing. However, I struggled to perform this task, thus eliminating me from that level. As we can now see from the progression of this video and the annotated box highlighting the consistency of my throw, I have greatly improved in my capacity to single-hand juggle in my non-dominant hand. On my final day, I again tested my average score, now having a much higher experiential age. I managed to complete an average of 40 single-hand juggles, and this now being 85% of that of my dominant hand. Making a final assessment on my ability to single-hand juggle. The consistency of my ability to juggle has become far greater. However, I still require a high degree of concentration. I was able to perform the skill with some variations, such as standing or walking, and my skills were consistently developing. Due to these reasons, I am in the early utilisation stage of skill proficiency described by Graham.